Hi Red Barn friends, how are you? It's Mrs. Mallory here. I have an Earth Day project for you that I thought we could do together. I'll show you what I'm up to, and maybe you can try this one at home. It does not matter if we don't have the same materials, right? So I'm using acrylic paints. If you have them at home, it would be great to use those too if you want to keep your painted rocks. That's what we're doing outside. But if you don't have acrylic paints, that's fine also. Just be careful when you put your rocks outside that they may, if they get wet, then they may start to fade or wash away a little bit. So if you're using water-based paints, then you want to try and keep your rocks in a dry area. And if you're using acrylics, then you can go ahead and keep them outside and let them get wet. So I went around my yard and I gathered a couple different rocks. This one I thought sort of looked like a square almost. And this one reminded me of a gigantic tooth. And this one almost had the shape of a triangle. So I did a first round video that I didn't like very much, and I painted some rocks already. As you can see, I have some drawings here, and I'll show you what I did. But then we're gonna do one together. I'm gonna do another one with you, and I'm gonna show you another way to use your rocks. So one way I used my rocks was painting a background. This one I did a background of black. And then I started to use a little thin brush for white paint and made sort of a little ladybug. And then this one I did a background of red and I painted, a little bumblebee. And then this rock already looks like a heart, right? So I decided I would get out some really bright pink color and paint this one up pink. And so these are the three I already did. You can do it any way you want. And I'm going to show you a really simple way. And I'm just going to use colors. I'm not going to try to make anything. I'm just going to paint them. And then I'll show you how I'm using them. So this brush is a little too wet and soft. So I'm going to use this brush. I'll get a new paper towel. And I just have these, I'm not sure how well you guys can see in the camera. I have a couple tiny little rocks. P.S. I should tell you that acrylic paints will stain your clothes. They will also get on your hands and mark up your hands, but eventually it'll come off your hands. But no, it probably won't come off your clothes. So I'm going to just do just plain color. Okay, personally, I don't mind if it gets on my hands, but if you do, you can wear little gloves or you can just paint your rock off on the table. So a simple red, I'll do some orange. It's not very bright. There we go. And acrylics dry pretty fast too, so they won't take too long to dry. Red, orange. Should I do yellow? Nah. I will do a little bit of blue and pink. Kind of mix it up a little bit. Hot pink on top, blue on the bottom. Kind of like a tie-dye. That blue is taking over real quick, right? So when you have two different colors, the darker one takes over very quickly. Okay. So 3 little tiny rocks. Simple, easy. And now I'm going to use them for a design. So all of these things I found at my house, and you could probably find them at your house too, or maybe on a nature walk, but I think they're pretty easy to find. This piece of paper is very special. You don't have to use a piece of paper like this. You can use a piece of paper like this. You can use a piece of paper of anything, or you know what? You could even use a paper towel. It looks a lot like my canvas that I have at my house. So you could use this too, whatever you like. But I'm gonna use some fancy paper, and I'm gonna show you. I have, again, I'm not sure what you can see, so I'll hold it up. I gathered a bunch of different little twigs and sticks. Some are bigger, some are smaller. I have dandelions. Baby Belle loves to help me pick the dandelions. And I have some pachysandra leaves. I also have some other rocks I have in the yard. And I have some materials that I bought that I've had at my house. So these are shells, and these are almost like those little marbles, just clear little stones. I don't know what they're called. Okay, so that's what I have because that's what I have at my house. I'm sure I could find other things. Magazine clippings would be really cool too. If I had thought of that ahead of time, I would have cut a bunch of different little magazine pieces, but I didn't. But you can at home. So don't forget, I have my little painted stones, I have some sticks, I have some flowers, and I'm just gonna start designing. I'm gonna make a picture, and I'm gonna start off with pulling off the stems, pulling out the flowers a little bit, and I'm going to make a little sunshine up in the corner. Now I'm not keeping this forever, so I'm not gluing it down. But if this is something that you want to hold on to that's really special to you and you want to keep it, you can use some glue and start gluing these materials down. These little flowers though, you know, when they don't get enough water, they will wilt. So they may not stay looking exactly the same. So I have a little sunshine, and I think I'm gonna do a little flower scene. So let's see, I have some sun. It's cold outside. I will use my stems. I'm going to stop for 1 second though and just check the camera and see what you can see. Excuse me. Oh, you guys can see just fine. Perfect. So here are my stems. Some big, some little, excuse me, some in between. Now I'm going to start with my leaves. Again, if I was keeping this forever, I would be gluing it all down. But I'm just doing a quick little picture for me, for you, so you could see what I'm up to. Just an idea for Earth Day. Taking what we have from the earth, using it to create something that I think is beautiful. And that's what I did with the painted rocks, right? Maybe I will walk by my neighbor's house and put this one in their garden and see if they find it. Maybe give it to someone as a gift. Okay, so you get the idea. Some stems, some leaves. Now I could use my gemstones and maybe put some little shells around it as a flower. And I could make them all look the same, right? I could do that 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Or I could try something different. Let's try something different. Let's try the painted rocks. That could be a flower. Those could be my flowers, or popsicle sticks could be my stems. Yeah, whatever you guys want. The idea really is always just to have fun. And if you really like what you're doing and you want to save it forever, then go ahead and glue it down. And if you don't really like what you're doing and you don't want to save it forever, then smush it all up and move it all around and try something new. I use these as a sun, but they could be the flowers they really are. And maybe I could use these as my sun instead. Or maybe I could paint a bigger rock, bright yellow, and have that be my sun up in the sky, right? Lots of different ideas. It's all up to you. You guys do it however you want, but the idea is to celebrate the earth any way you can. Have fun with it and enjoy it, and maybe get a mom or a dad or a brother or a sister to do it along with you. But nature gives us a lot of things that we should be grateful for. Now, you know that I bought these at the store, right? And these little shells I bought also. But everything else besides my paint and this very fancy paper all came from the earth. So this is an Earth Day project to say thank you to the earth for all of the wonderful things you give us. And I think I'm going to put my little bee out in my garden, and my heart is going to a friend, and the ladybug, maybe I'll put this one by my front door. Thanks, guys. It's nice to do some painting with you, and it's nice to do an Earth Day project with you. I miss you very much, and I hope you guys are all saying thank you to the earth in your own special way. Mwah! Bye, guys.